Hi, I'm Keith McGuire. Mark's behind the camera, and today we're going to watercolor some early morning clouds, sunrise clouds. Let's call them that. And I'm going to begin by just mentioning I like putting a little blue tape around the edges of my paper. It gives the framer something to kind of grab onto. A lot of times people go right to the edge, and the framer's like, "We hate you." So I give them a little bit of, and I believe it or not, I love having just a little box that it's in. That's just me, and I am now going to grab maybe a paintbrush. Okay, and I'm going to start wetting. I think maybe I should have been cleaning my brushes first. Let's see what we got here.
And real quick, let's while you're doing that, let's explain. So Keith uses Minky brand pan paints. He's got his Arches 140 cold press watercolor paper.
My favorite.
He's got his Lowell Cornell brushes. He's got his butcher tray, enamel butcher tray. That's very important. Generic ball jar. Generic.
What? No, those. You can buy a special Keith McGuire ball jars
soon.
Yeah, $49.95.
But so if you want to purchase any of the materials that Keith's using, there's a link in the description, and that'll give you places: Amazon, Blix. Michael's, I always pronounce Ulrich's wrong probably, so, but it's in there too. If you purchase online, we get a small commission as a thank you. You don't pay anything extra, but if you want, that also works as a nice little checklist to take to your local art supply center. And now I don't have to plug anything else, but go ahead and like, subscribe, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. So now I'll let Keith get back to painting.
All right, we got that. We got all the hard stuff out of the way. If I were to say it, it'd take about 20 minutes longer. So I'm going to begin by, I put a little yellow into my tray. I like to kind of get a couple of the colors out that I'm going to be using and get it ready, because once I wet the paper, I want to immediately get to painting before the water dries on the page. So early morning, I watch. I have a beautiful view out my window every morning. I get the sunrise, and it's in the winter, the fall, winter months. You get some very pretty colors in the morning, and I love the kind of soft yellow down by the horizon and the beautiful pink clouds. So I'm going to start with. I'm going to wet the base of my sky, basically down along the horizon. I'm going to start with the yellow. Now I wet the paper wherever I want the paint to go. So I don't wet the entire paper because I don't want color yet in my clouds. So I'm just going to do the base. So the other thing is, I do, down along the bottom here, I do have a horizon. It has trees. I'm going to go right over the trees, but I'm not going to go over the base, the ground itself, okay? I just know that by the horizon, it's going to be very dark, and it'll be easy to, paint over the yellow once it dries, okay? So here I am. I'm start with a deeper color towards the base, and then as I come up, I like to kind of lighten the color up a little bit. So also, my clouds are not going to be straight across. They're going to be more dynamic. They're going to be kind of swooping up from the lower right to the higher left end. Kind of gives it a little more dynamic feel rather than clouds just going straight across the horizon. So right now, as you know, or as I have mentioned in the past, I'm sorry, the watercolors, of course, dry about 40% lighter than the actual you know, when you put it down. So you got to kind of account for that and make sure that you have enough color, or you're going to just end up doing it again and again until you get it right. So I've got a nice base there. I've got the color going. And now I'm going to rinse my brush. And I'm going to flip this over.
Whoa!
Yeah, I'm sorry. Everybody fell out of their chairs. I'm going to use an ultramarine blue because I like it because it's a very cool blue. Not a warm blue, but a cool one. And I kind of like the feel of colder days. I've been spending time in Michigan for the past few years now, and I've lived in the South. I lived in the North. You know, the sky color does change, and it's a much greener blue down like Florida way and Hawaii, Texas. Up here, much crisper. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to lightly. Well, it's kind of blue because I didn't rinse out my brush very well. But hopefully maybe you can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm going around my clouds. I want to hit, you know, basically...
Move your paper up a little. There you go.
All right. I just want to make sure I leave my clouds. I get some water in there. Okay. I got a little more over here. But I am going to try to hit my... get the values into the sky now. So you always have that kind of warm yellow at the bottom. Then there's this kind of whitish glow, and then this, you know, usually a very intense blue. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I wet this area. I like starting at the top and getting you know, the value that I think it should be. Okay, so here I am. Here I am. Okay, don't sing. All right. As you can see, as I come down, see how I tend to want to soften it, get it a little lighter, get it a little lighter. Okay, and then it'll kind of it'll go from the yellow to the white to the more intense blue. Okay. Okay. All right. That's what I have to do in my classes. I have to answer myself because everybody nods their heads.
Eh?
Yeah, and I'm like, you guys are listening to me. I am on, right?
Do you hear me now?
Yeah. So anyway, as you can see, as I come down, I'm gently creating a softer blue. And as you can see, my clouds are starting to, you can kind of see how I've got them moving more, you know, lower left to up, or lower right to upper left, to create a little more dynamic. There you go. Heck with that isms. All right. So as you can see this? It's already starting to dry lighter and lighter. So I, Uncle Keith, will now slowly change. There we go. I'm just going to put a little more value into the sky right at the top. Just so, because you want, you know, we want dynamic. We want bold. We want transitions to be very, you know. Now, what I'm doing is I'm kind of picking up my paper. I'm going to see if I'm on camera, somewhere in there. Anyway, as you can see, it's wet, and I can then kind of like blend down by just taking it and dragging it down a little bit, you know, by letting gravity do its job. Then I keep an eye on it, make sure it doesn't do anything odd. How's that? Also, I like breaking up my clouds a little bit with the color. But I'm going to let it set up now so that it can, ooh, I want to get some of that blue, deeper blue right in the corner there too. So that it can set up. But there, I think that looks pretty good. Let's see where I'm at. All right, so at this point, what I want to do is maybe get the horizon in a little bit so you can see it better. But also, I'm probably going to have to dry it. Yeah. So, I'm going to do something that I recommend you don't do at home, okay? But this is only for expediency. And I'm going to blow dry it using a blow dryer. You really don't want to do that. It's recommended you don't. Blow dryers tend to dull the color of your paint, dull the finish a lot. Hey, quit making noise. My phone's talking, I'm sorry. Let me turn that off. There, sorry. So we want to kind of, just recommending don't do this at home, okay? This is only so that I can keep going. So I've got my blow dryer. Oh, this ain't gonna be pretty. All right. It ain't gonna work either. There we go. I'm gonna be real quick here. I hope.
That's all you got.
There we go. So like I said, what it does is it kind of dulls the paint, and most of the paint companies recommend you do not do this. Other paint companies don't care. How's that? But this will give me a chance to keep going. See, already the bottom's pretty dry. And I am using low heat, hopefully, so it doesn't, doesn't get too bad. Alrighty. That should do it for now. What's the name of it? Yeah. I only use Vidal Sassoon. Alright. So.
You got that flowing hair.
Yeah. So, okay, so the bottom has been, is dry now. Might be a little moist up at the top, so I'm just gonna be careful. Don't go up there. So the field, I want it to be dead grass. No, I'm kidding. I want it to be a darker value because, we're kind of, we're still, the sun is not quite up above the horizon. And thus you get that yellow and the pink clouds. But also you're going to get a kind of a very dark foreground. So I'm going to use a brown for now, just to get started. Like I said, this is just a field. I have a tree line right behind this field, but I just want to get some color down. With watercolors, you always work from dark to light. So you want to get your lighter colors down and then, work on getting the darker ones down.
So say that again, because I think you said it backwards.
Did I?
Yeah.
You want to get the lighter colors down first, and then put the darker ones over top. So
light
you work
to dark.
Light to dark, exactly. All right. So now,
it's a good thing I'm here.
Well, you know what? If I confuse them a little bit, I don't know if that's good. All right. So again, here I am. Now I'm pushing in some darker color. Like I said, this is some kind of feel. I don't know. I'm not really all that concerned about the bottom of this picture. I'm trying to teach clouds. So, then...
But it had to be a dead brown field.
Not necessarily, but it's going to be dark by the time I'm finished. Okay. I can only, put layers of color down so much at a time. Reason being is I don't want to do it all at once. I want to have some other color, little hints of color shining up and through. So right now, I'm trying to build me a fairly dark green. So I'm using a little bit of sepia, a little bit of a olive green, and I might even add a little bit of ultramarine blue just to deepen the color a little bit. All right, so I'm going to come along this horizon. I'm just going to start building me a little cute little tree line, shrub line, whatever you want to call it.
So, are you going to add more color in the sky at the horizon?
No, probably not. I'm going to leave the yellow. If what's going to happen is the clouds are going to create the drama at this point, okay? Right now, I'm just getting that yellow in. Are we coming out maybe too light?
Well, that's what I'm curious on, is I'm looking at a monitor, so
right, exactly.
I'm not sure if the yellow is vibrant or if it's kind of a muted.
Well, like I said, it dries a lot lighter, and yeah, if it's not, it's definitely yellow, and if it's not showing up quite good enough, then maybe I'll punch it up for our viewing audience, okay? But I'm going to have to wait until this kind of horizon line here it dries up.
Yeah.
Which, in the meantime, I can go back up and start messing with clouds, which I will do.
Yay, clouds.
Fluffy. All right.
And if you haven't already seen it, go back and check out. Keith just did a how to paint fall leaves video. We wrapped up the old stone shed, 6-part. Oh my gosh, it took forever, but we filmed it in real time as he actually painted it, which was kind of a neat project. Amongst other previous videos, but those are the newest.
Yeah, and we did want to get that stone shed done. I was out of commission for a couple weeks, so a few weeks actually. So I'm back. And I just want to, get back, getting as much information out there as I can, as Mark will let me.
You can give out all the information.
Yeah. I've been holding back for weeks now. But yes, I am now ready. All right, so like I said, I gotta, I'll probably have to go back and actually add more color to that. Sometimes it takes a couple layers to get what you want, okay? So at this point, I'm going to let that start drying up. And I am going to choose my, my pink for my clouds. So I'm going to wipe out a little area here, make sure I have a clean surface on my tray. Rinse my brush real good, and all right, I think I'm gonna go, I believe this is magenta. Let me see how that looks, and I say no. Let's try another one. All right, I'm going to try, yeah, this is the one I like, which I believe is a Carmine. If you don't have a Carmine or a magenta, you might try, definitely try a alizarin crimson. That'll definitely work for you, okay? So, I'm going to go ahead. Now this stuff, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lightly, in my cloud areas along the bottom, okay? I'm just going to lightly drag some water into the clouds. But I'm not hitting everything, okay? I'm not wetting the clouds. I'm not wetting the clouds completely. I'm more just kind of wetting the base, and I'm not even hitting them that consistently. I want clouds have depth, they have texture, so we don't want them to be all just one solid pink cloud, because that would be wrong. Okay, so all right, I've wet these surfaces. I'm going to start applying a wee bit of pinks. See how I dibby, here's a technical term, dibby dab the color in? What I'm doing is just kind of hitting the water, wet areas. I want them to bleed a little bit. I don't want them to be too too hard. Okay, see how it softens up? All right. And how's this working on the monitor?
It seems all right. I like it.
Okay, good. Like I said, what I see and maybe what you guys see, you know, we gotta work. I might have to be a little more vibrant, you know, than I'm used to, which there's nothing wrong with that. So, gosh, I get a more vibrant watercolor.
Well, that's my problem too. I could also adjust the camera to make it, you know, more contrasty and saturated, but I want it to be kind of true to what you're doing.
Yeah, and that's what I'm hoping. Yes, I agree. Me too. All right, so you see how I kind of drag? What I do is I drag some paint on, and then usually what I do is I take a little bit of water and I soften my edges. All right. I like that. All right, now I might have to re-wet a couple areas here. Just like I said, I want it to be kind of moist, but not, you know, not crazy. All right. All right. Sorry, I get... Oh, that worked. I'm so happy. I'm on camera. So yes, I do get excited. All right, and now what I do is, as it dries, it's going to get lighter. So as it dries, I go back and I kind of watch what's going on so that I can add, you know, add a little more color if I need to. And that's, and I see this area, it's all dry because you can see the hard line of my brush stroke. So if you're quick, you can get in there and soften those edges. So we get a puffy, happy. We're going to do a happy squirrel today. All right. Okay. A little bit more. I'm getting there. So I'm going to have some bigger chunks of red here in the background clouds. We want them to be a little bit softer. Okay, maybe bleed out a little bit more. Add a little more water to them as I do it. Okay, good. All right, now one more. Sorry.
Just kidding.
Get them in. Get it done. Get her done. All right, now, so I got this very happy pink sky. Pink clouds, rather. But, you know, we need a little more than that. We got to give them a little volume, okay? So I'll go back up there. So I'm going to take a wee bit of this carmine, or alizarin crimson in your case, if that's what you got, or magenta. And I'm going to add just a hint, a suggestion of the ultramarine blue. Actually, I'll take it from here. And as you can see, I've created more of a violet, okay? A very light violet. But, because I want to create a little bit of, you know, a little bit of shadow in these clouds too. We don't want them to be all just, you know, one value. So, that was a little test that I'm doing. I just want to see how it's going to look, what colors we're going to get with the violet. So, yeah. And like I said, I don't want it everywhere, but I want the feeling that these clouds do break up, okay? And that you get, that they have bottoms, that they have, you know, texture. Okay. All right. Now, a little bit of blue in there too. So like I said, we're doing kind of a little bit of the base of the clouds. Get a little bit of shadow, you know, because they kind of get in front of each other. They do stuff. But a lot of this cloud is being lit from the bottom, okay? So we got to remember that. So we might want to get maybe a little bit of shadow up in the top part of the cloud too, okay? So I'm going to just soften these edges a little bit. All right, and you know what? I'm gonna make me a happy purpley cloud way back here.
Oh, thank goodness! That little white spot was driving me nuts.
Okay, good. That's why I do it.
To make me nuts.
Yes, that's the most fun I get out of the day. All right, so we got a little bit of Schmud's cloud, soft. Break it up. It's got a little bit of purple. I like that. Good. Oh, that helped. I think it needed something along that horizon there, you know? So I'm just going to soften these edges. All right. So now, for me, what I like to do, you know, one of the last parts of doing the clouds is to add a little bit of yellow to them also. But we don't want to put it into the pink or blue because we might end up with orange or green, you know what I mean? So what I'm going to do, I'm just softening a little bit of this edge. So I'm just going to take a few little areas just here and there, what's left in the white. I want to get some of that yellow into the white areas so they don't, like I said, we don't want them, you know, yellow and blue make green, so we don't really want it, you know, going over the green or over the blue too much. And same with the red, I don't want orange. I want it to stay more of a pinky purple. And if I get the yellow over top of that red, I'm going to end up with more of an orange cast to it. Okay, so anyway, I also feel like I need to get a little bit more of a base down here. So I'm gonna just kind of come in with a little bit of a blue, just to, like I said, I gotta be careful I don't end up with green. So there. Yeah, all right. So now I look at my horizon here, and it isn't near dark enough to get the effect that I want, okay? So I'm going to come back in, and now I'm going to, let's see what I got. Ooh, I'm going to, sorry, I got to see what I got. All right, so, oh, that's a blue, all right. All right, good. So I'm going to add, this is a very intense phthalo blue. I'm going to mix it in with, shoot, I forgot the name of it. Olive green, that dark olive green. I'm just going to see if I can get a little more dark going in here. Don't have to be all dark. You know, you can leave some of the other green, but we do got to have a fairly deep value. Because like I said, this is what gives it that sunrise feeling, okay? Okay. All right. You know, and it whatever you want to put in the, you know, you want to put a pine tree in, you know, fine. Piney. So very simple, just, you know, give it the old pine tree technique. And there we go. There's one over there. We're gonna use maybe a smaller brush so I can get a little finer line. Wow, too fine. Holy, yeah, holy moly. All right, let's try it again. Ah, there we go. So a little bit of the here, there. A couple nice pines. Got our horizon going. You know, it's whatever you want to put into it, but it's got to have value. That's the whole point to this. So now I'm going to go with a blue over that yellow, yellow ochre brown. And I think what happened was I grabbed the wrong blue. Let me try again. There we go. I don't want to start a new color, into this painting. I don't want to introduce another blue into it. So I'm gonna, because once you do, then you got to kind of find another place to put it. Okay. As you can see, I also changed the direction of the soil a little bit, so it's kind of coming towards us a little. Maybe it looks like ruts or whatever. All right.
So, out of curiosity, the direction of your ground and the direction of your clouds are in opposite directions. Was that intentional or a happy accident?
Well, actually, if you think about it, my horizon's actually going up sort of in the same direction as the clouds. And quite honestly, I didn't even think about it. What I like is, you do something straight, straight across. I don't know if that's helping. straight across, or if you can add a little movement to anything, to the ground, to the sky, like I said, you create a little more dynamism. You will look that word up so they can actually pronounce it next week, but it creates a little more of a dynamic action, and it creates things that are a little more fun. Why be boring if you don't have to be? I enjoy making skies. I don't usually just make them to make skies. This was a little demo. I just feel that it's such a help to do a good sky in whatever scene that you're doing, that it's good to practice, to get some different techniques. And I'll tell you what, once you start painting skies, I swear to God, you'll be driving along. My son used to get mad at me because I'll see a sky, and I tend to turn in the direction of whatever I'm looking at, Dad, so seriously, I used to get in trouble, but yeah, you start getting hooked on looking, it's like, oh, that's good. How do I do that? What colors are there? It's a lot of fun, my students also have commented on that a lot. It's like, oh my God, Lisa, and then they start sending pictures now that everybody has phones. Funny part is I never feel like there's any phone picture that ever is as good as what it is, the actual thing. But, at least you can get an idea. All right, so I've got a kind of a darker horizon now. I'm kind of happy with it. I'd probably go in and add a little more color here and there, but like I said, what I'm trying to do is make the sky pop by adding this deeper value down at the bottom. Okay. So this had a chance to dry a little bit more, so I then have the opportunity. I'm going to add a little more violet here and there, just to break it up a little. So I did that very dry. You can actually see, the texture of the paper, but then I come back and I'll soften it up with a little bit of water. I want to leave some of the pink. I want some of the violet. I want everything to kind of show through as I do it. Okay? So Anyway, this is seriously pretty close to what I like.
And that's all that really matters.
That's right. It's all about me, Keith McGuire. All right. So,
Well, what I was getting at is, if you're following along at home or attempting this as well, don't let other people's criticisms get to you.
no.
You'll never make everybody happy, but you should be happy in what you created yourself. And that's today's lesson.
What? I thought we were doing clouds.
Oh.
Oh, fine. A moral lesson. I do all this work, and you...
Yep.
Fine.
Tune in next week for more therapy.
We'll let Keith out of his room again. No, this is... he's right. The other thing, too, is don't give up halfway. It's actually hilarious. I used to quit halfway all the time. Oh, I can do it better, and start again. Oh, I can do it better. I can start again. Very honestly, paint it all the way through. A friend of mine came up with a phrase. I can't remember which one, but when I heard it, it was like, oh my God, that's it. Paint through the ugly. Halfway isn't good enough, okay? You want to seriously get it all the way done, okay? That way, even if you didn't do as good as you'd hoped, you can see your mistakes, you know. You can if it's half done, okay? So I'm looking at this one, and very quickly, you ready?
Oh boy.
Yeah. I am going to add, I want just a little more value at the top, okay? Because I think that'll help all my other pretty things, you know, glow just a little bit more. Also, I'm going to bring the blue down a little bit more. Okay. So, like I said, you know, you're going to have to learn. I learn as I go. You know, how much value is enough? It takes time, you know, to kind of practice a little bit till you get what you think is dark enough. You know, and a lot of times you're not going to be able to hit it in one coat. Sometimes it takes a couple. All right. Yeah, that's a little better. I just want to get a little more blue in here, down here, just so this cloud would maybe pop a little bit more. And that's the beauty of sitting back and actually looking at it once in a while. What I recommend to anybody, experienced or not, get up and walk away from your painting. Take a look at it, you know, from 5 feet away. That's the usual viewing distance of a watercolor. So, you know, get away from it. Look at it. A lot of times you'll see something that you missed or possibly could do, that kind of thing. It's just a, you know, kind of a little rest. You can take a break and think about what you're doing a little bit. All right, Mr. Hicks.
All right, so there's one spot that's bothering me.
Okay.
So it's almost in the center of the painting.
Uh-huh.
Just down a little bit and to the left. There's like one speck of to your left. Oh, I thought you were going to point to it.
Yeah, I am. I was just wondering.
Below, yep. Just
while that was drying.
There.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here?
Nope, left.
Left. My other
up
left?
A little bit. Up. That's to the right.
This way?
Yep, a little bit more. And down. A little bit right to the left of there. See that little dark spot?
Yeah.
That's driving me nuts.
Really?
Why is that there?
All right. Because it's a little chunk of shadow or cloud. Here. I'm going to make it a bigger chunk of cloud. That'll make you mad.
Oh, if it blends in, it doesn't make me mad.
Right.
Just,
but, you know, with watercolors, there's always going to be like little splashes and stuff like that. That's what they do. So I'm fixing this just because, or at least I hope I am. Just
it's more blended in now. Now it doesn't. Yeah, it stood out. It just, to me, it looked like one big blop that got
right in the middle that you couldn't get your eye around.
Nope.
Yeah, I hear you.
Or I was hoping you'd be like, pull out the
Scrubby
Mr.
thing?
Clean eraser
No.
scrubby thing and let's just go to town.
No, I don't think so.
Let's erase this entire painting.
All right.
That'd
So,
be fun.
oh, this
Do you
is.
think you could erase an entire painting?
Yes. Well, there are some staining colors that you can't get out, but you'd be surprised what you can do with a Mr. Clean scrubby pad or knockoff product, whatever you call it. That's probably not fair. Not knockoff, but you know, similar. Just make sure you don't use any you know, soaps or anything. Make sure it's a clean pad.
Have you ever tried using bleach?
No. Oh God. No, there's a surface there's a thing that they put on the it's called sizing. And it's like an animal fat. It's a rendering of animal fats. And I don't know what it does, but bleach will just totally wreck your paper. It won't actually the paint will go on. It won't move. It'll just go plop. It'll just stay whatever brush stroke you used. Bam. What's that noise? I wonder if you can hear that. So yeah, you really, you know, no cleaning products, you know.
Interesting.
Yeah, none, because that's what the sizing is. What you know,
makes it better than
makes the paper work. And I don't quite understand the theory. I probably could eventually if I looked it up, but I do know that, man, you hit it with soap, you're done. You'll have a little spot. And there's also sometimes when the paper gets really old, if you end up with a bunch of spots, you're like, why are there spots here? Sometimes if the paper is old, it gets a tiny bit of mildew, and that will wreck. That'll also, well, it'll leave little spots in your paper, and you go, well, you know. Usually, if you're doing a face, it'll be right on the face, you know. It'll be a birthmark or whatever. So, but yeah, so you know, like I said, cleaning products, stay clear. You just the Mr. Clean scratchy pads. All you do is a little bit of water and scrub. It'll just pull up most of the paint. Some of the staining colors, not so much. So I'm about done with this one. So, Mr. Hicks, anything else I need to address?
Good. I like it.
Okay, good.
That's all that matters. What I think.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, what you think of your own work. Sorry, keep forgetting that.
You know what? I have my own worst taste. Everybody else, whatever painting I don't like, they buy that one first. So, you know, so I don't know. I gave up. So anyway, thank you, everyone. Is there anything else I need to?
Yep. Once again, thanks for watching. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up. That's how we know if you actually enjoyed it and watched it.
If it helped.
If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions for future videos, put them in the comments section below, and we'll probably not ignore it.
Nice.
Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, so you always see when the new video's coming out. We're going to try and get back on a regular schedule. I don't know what that schedule will be yet, but we need to get some content out again. And
I was sick.
Yeah, and check out Keith's website if you haven't already. He's got paintings that he's done that we've got ready to hang prints on canvas. And we're going to have more stuff coming soon. And I'm sorry I'm yawning. That's very rude.
Hey, I bored him.
Alright.
Another watercolor.
His painting's so relaxed.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Bob. You know.
One of these days I'll stick music in the background.
So, thank you very much, everybody. You take care, and we'll be back.
Bye.
Bye-bye.